Welcome to Good Libations, our program about mixology, and I'm Ethel Andrews, a mixologist, otherwise known as a bartender. But anyway, today we're going to make an interesting drink. We're going to go back to using cachaça, which, as you know, is the national spirit, you might say, of Brazil. And it has kind of an interesting history. Cachaça, like rum, is made from sugarcane, but unlike rum, which is made from molasses, cachaça is made directly from the sugarcane juice. So it tastes nothing like rum whatsoever. If you're expecting the taste of rum, you're not going to get it. What you're going to get is a beverage or a liquor, you might say, that tastes somewhere oddly between scotch and tequila, which sounds like a very odd combination, but that is the best description I could give of it, and others who've tasted cachaça concur. And cachaça is interesting because the people of Brazil, unlike the Portuguese who migrated here to America, are a bit different. Like American Portuguese, they could have come directly from Portugal, but most of them came from the Isle of Madeira, where they grew sugarcane. And they brought it over with them to Brazil and started cultivating sugarcane. And that's how cachaça, you might say, evolved. Now, the Portuguese in this country, if they don't come directly from Portugal, they're usually from the Azores. So both groups of Portuguese are genetically a little bit different. Brazilian Portuguese versus American Portuguese. And I think that is quite fascinating when you think about it. So we're going to go ahead and make a drink, again, based on cachaça. And this particular drink, we're going to divest oddly into what is usually used as a glass for coffee drinks. So first we're going to add the cachaça to the mixer. Add a decent amount of it. And then we're going to muddle blueberries in it, which is quite interesting. It makes for a lovely drink. And again, blueberries, like mint, are fairly fragile, so we don't have to use a lot of pressure. We basically want to bruise them, somewhere between bruising and, not pulverizing, in order to get the goodness out of them, but not kill it to death. So anyway, we're going to do that. And again, we always muddle in the liquor. Very important to do that because we want to make sure that the infusion from the berries and the liquor marry, because that makes such a difference. Otherwise, you're just muddling in, basically nothing. And I'm going to add a bit of sugar to this because although the blueberries are somewhat sweet, they're not cloyingly sweet. And this drink will need to be a bit sweeter in order to be good. So I'm going to add some lump sugar into here. And we're going to continue to muddle a bit. Then we're going to add a couple of other things. And this is a blueberry caprina instead of the usual caprina, which is made with lime juice. This one is with blueberry. Okay, so now I'm going to add a little bit of lemon. And that's another thing. We normally use lime when we use drinks that are based on cachaça, but we're going to use lemon with this because it goes better with the blueberry than lime. And we're going to add just a hint of cheap orange juice. And this is easy to pour. That's why I use that little container. And then we're going to sort of stir it up a bit. And then we're going to add ice and shake it after I add the ice. And you can just think of how interesting it must have been to bring all that sugarcane over from Madeira to Brazil to create this wonderful drink. So I'm going to add a decent amount of ice so that it'll shake up pretty cold. And this is a departure, again, from your conventional caprina, which is made with lime juice. So I think at this point we have enough of the ice in it to make it nice and cold. And we're going to go ahead and shake it and then disperse it. And then I'm going to taste it to make sure that everything is in the proportion that it should be in. And that's always a tenuous thing. That's why we always want to taste our drinks when we make them, especially since I advocate free pouring. So let me taste it now. Oh, that is actually really good. Really good. You can taste the characteristic flavor of the cachaça. And then you've got the blueberries to add the fruit to it and to do something a bit different. There is lemon in it rather than lime. And it is so good. And you could also use raspberries and strawberries in this drink. And again, you want to kind of bruise them. You don't want to muddle them to death and pulverize them, because then it's going to ruin the effect of it. You do with drinks where I use an apple or a hard fruit. You're definitely going to have to use a lot more pressure. And I'm going to disperse the rest into this glass here. And it's not even going to make a full drink, but that's enough to taste. And then I'm going to add blueberries as a garnish. Make it look a little pretty. And you can imagine if this was full to the top, the way a normal cocktail would be. And this adds a bit of eye appeal. If we use the fruit that we put in the drink as a garnish, it just makes the drink more attractive. And for that matter, I also could add just a bit of the peel of the lemon for attractiveness and add a little bit more of the oil as well. And again, this is a Caipirinha variant, and it uses blueberries, or it could use raspberries again, or strawberries, in addition to the base liquor, which is cachaça. And again, you can thank the people of Brazil for getting us this lovely, unique liquor. And again, I thank you very much for tuning into our program, Good Libations. And this is always a lesson that you can make your own cocktails. You can be innovative. You don't need to follow recipes. You can put your own accents on drinks. You don't have to make them by rote as if you're painting by number. And thank you again for tuning into our program, Good Libations. And use common sense and moderation in your consumption with alcohol. And make sure that you have a designated driver if you're going out. Thank you again. I'm Ethel Andrews, and this is Good Libations. Thank you, and goodbye.